Hello, welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alina Amir. I'm a certified personal trainer and I post a lot about health and fitness on Instagram at coachalina_. And today I wanted to just talk more about Ramadan, and health and fitness during this time. So specifically, a question that I got is, how do I lose weight during Ramadan? In case you're not familiar with it, Ramadan is a 30-day month in the Islamic calendar during which Muslims are required to abstain from eating or drinking, and a lot of other things, but eating or drinking is what I'm going to focus on in this video, from sunrise to sunset. That can pose a lot of challenges or just cause a lot of change in everyone's schedule, particularly with regards to their sleep and their working out because of the restrictions on when you can eat or drink. Losing weight is a very tricky goal during this time. So I always kind of promote the idea that during this month, it's not a time to try and reach new goals or anything like that, but just to strive to maintain. So I think it's a win if you maintain this near the same amount of strength or the same ballpark weight range from the beginning to the end of the month. So for me, that's oh, I did it. I made it through these 30 days. Just from that perspective, I don't think losing weight should be the primary goal during this month. I think it's doable. I think it's possible, especially if you have more weight to lose, then it's easier to lose those initial pounds. So for example, it's easier for someone to lose 10 pounds if they have 30 pounds to lose versus someone who only has 10 pounds to lose those 10 pounds, if that makes sense. So it all varies based on your goal. I want everyone to just kind of remember that. So look at yourself, look at your habits, look at what you're doing now, and based on that, figure out what is a maintainable and realistic goal for you. Now, to talk more specifically about the weight loss aspect of it, the rules for losing weight do not change during Ramadan. It's not a magic month. I do not believe that fasting automatically will reduce your weight. I think fasting simply can help if it limits the number of hours you have for snacking or anything like that. But biologically speaking, the same rules apply, which are, in order to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. That sounds like a heavy term. It's really not. It really means eating or drinking less calories than what you burn. So if your body burns 2,000 calories a day, you need to eat or drink less than 2,000 calories a day to create a deficit, and you have to maintain a deficit over a long period of time in order to lose weight. So in Ramadan, those same rules apply. It doesn't matter when you're eating those calories, in my opinion. It's just how many calories am I eating and how many calories am I burning. The reason some people struggle to lose weight, or the fact that some people even gain weight during this month, despite the fact that we're fasting for so many hours, in my opinion, is because, first of all, the popular foods during this month are very high in calorie. There's tons of fried foods and desserts that are really popular, which makes total sense. It's a time when you get to eat, you want to celebrate, you're excited, and you want yummy food. Totally makes sense. I'm for it. Chocolate is my favorite thing in the world. I get it. There needs to be a balance, is basically my opinion on it. So the reason people do end up gaining weight during this month is, first of all, we're less active because during the day we're more tired, we haven't had any water, we're not eating, we sit around a lot, we lie down, we take a lot of naps, and we're just not moving our bodies as much, and a lot of us just struggle to even work out. So the deficit, how much your body is burning a day, automatically is affected because you're just burning less. On top of that, we end up eating a lot more unhealthy foods. So I'm Pakistani, so in my culture, every time it's time to break our fast, you will see samosa or pakode. I'm sure in every culture there's some type of food that's very yummy and very popular, that's really calorically dense because it's cooked in a lot of butter or oil or anything like that, which are really high in calories. So because those foods are really popular, we end up wanting more and more of it. We want sugary drinks, which also have calories in it. It actually ends up being more difficult for some of us to maintain that calorie deficit because we just want to eat so much when we finally get that opportunity. And we have a 7-ish hour eating window, depending on where you are in the world. That will change, obviously. You can do you can eat a lot I can eat a lot in 7 hours, so I can only imagine. I know for me personally, I still have to keep track of how much I'm eating because if I'm not careful, I will literally eat everything. And that for me is one of the biggest reasons why just maintaining my weight during this month is a win on its own. So I celebrate that as a win, and I encourage you to celebrate that as a win. If you do want to lose weight, you basically have to be mindful of that deficit. You have to kind of understand how much you're burning in a day and how much you're eating or drinking, and tweak it. So if you don't want to count calories, you definitely do not have to. Let me stress this again. You don't have to. It can cause a lot of people a lot of anxiety or a lot of stress, and that should not be the goal. This is not meant to be something that's like miserable. Different ways you can actually do this are, first of all, tracking your weight or tracking your measurements so that you know if you're making progress, because it can be hard to just kind of gauge it based on looking in the mirror every day, because you're so used to looking at yourself, you won't see changes over time. So I think taking progress pictures and taking your measurements, like your waist measurements, and maybe around your legs or your arms is like a really good way of tracking progress to see if you're losing inches or not. Because sometimes when you're weighing yourself, especially during Ramadan, it can be really like chaotic because your body is dehydrated, and then as soon as you drink water, your body retains a lot more water. So I don't like weighing myself that much during Ramadan because it's just like harder to gauge. If you are going to weigh yourself during Ramadan, I would recommend weighing yourself like right before breaking your fast, because that's probably the most accurate time during which to weigh yourself, because you haven't eaten or drank anything and your weight is probably going to be the most consistent around that time. But progress pictures are another really good way. If you're going to do measurements, make sure you write them down. And you can also use your clothes if you want as a basis for measurement. So first of all, you have to figure out a way to like determine if you're making progress or not. Secondly, I would actually recommend writing down how much you're eating, but you don't have to write the calories, you can just write what you're eating. So if you had 2 slices of bread, write 2 slices of bread. If you had an apple, write down an apple. Like, forget the calories for now if you want to. And if you aren't losing weight, and this will apply regardless of if it's Ramadan or not, but if you're not losing weight, look at the list of how much you're eating every day and say, okay, what if I take out that apple, or what if I take out that cereal, or what if I take out that toast? That'll increase my deficit because I'm technically eating less, and I can try keeping everything the same and seeing, okay, am I going to start losing weight now? And then you tweak with the numbers that way. So instead of saying, let me cut 200 calories, how do I do that? Just, take out some of the things that you're eating and go from there if that's easier. I've seen that work for a lot of people, and I do recommend it because it can be like mentally a little easier because it's less math, and I don't want you to stress out about the math. You can also write down on that same piece of paper how much activity you got that day. So did you go on a walk? How long did you walk for? Did you do strength training at home? Did you do yoga at home? How many minutes did you do it for? And keeping track of it that way, so then you can see at the end of the week, okay, I lost a pound, and this is everything I did this week, and this is what worked. So I can just copy it. I don't have to think about it. I can just mimic every single day, day for day, and not have to think twice about it, waste any more time on doing any math. And if you didn't lose weight, you can say, okay, this is what I did this week and I didn't lose weight. Maybe I can increase each day of exercise by 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe I can take out this from how much I ate that week and tweak with the numbers that way. So there are ways to do it, but just remembering that the overall goal is eating less than what you're burning, and the deficit that I'm talking about does not need to be ridiculously big. I think slow and steady wins the race. So don't make a deficit of like 1,000 calories or like 800 calories or something. 200 to 500 calories is the most that I would recommend, because that's the easiest to sustain without going through long, arduous periods of extreme hunger that could result in binges or just result in periods of overeating or anything like that. So be reasonable. Remember, it's slow and steady. Please do not go into Ramadan with the goal of losing like 15 pounds during 30 days. No, just absolutely not. If you want to try losing like a pound a week or something like that, that could be doable if you're following what I'm trying to explain. But if you just maintain your weight during Ramadan, please remember that's a big win, because you basically went through 30 days of your schedule completely changing, of all these different limitations and just constraints, and you made it to the other side without losing any progress. So just remember that is a win, and I think it should be celebrated. So my plan of action for Ramadan is usually during the morning meal, I like to have like an egg or egg whites and oatmeal. Well, that's my plan for this month. And with my oatmeal, I usually mix protein powder, so you feel fuller when you have more protein. So I like to make sure all of my meals have some protein in it. So that's what I will do. And that way I have like a balance in the morning, and that usually keeps me full for a little bit. And then for the meal to break my fast, I always have fruit and some type of vegetable, because I think it's really easy to forget nutrients during this time. and I like to I'm vegetarian, so I like to have some sort of like tofu or maybe an egg again with egg whites, and as I said, vegetables, and I'll choose like maybe lentils or beans or rice for my carbohydrates, and I'll kind of split that up into 2 meals, and that's usually how I go through the month. And there's chocolate thrown in during a lot of those days too. And I like to work out with strength training of some kind every other day. And on the days that I'm not working out, or sometimes on the days I'm also working out, I like to go on walks, because walks are really low stress. You can do them even when you're tired and kind of get through it. It's time to kind of mentally debrief, and they get activity, and you obviously will still burn calories during a walk. And I think it's just easier to convince yourself to go for a walk than to go work out sometimes. So those are my tips for trying to lose weight during Ramadan. So that was helpful to you. If you found any value, please leave a like or a comment or both, maybe even subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you next time.